Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Trader, where last time we continued exploring on our way towards Mundus Valancius, the capital of our protectorate. And we have actually arrived in the system itself. We're hovering above, orbiting the planet of Dargonus, I think is the name of it. But we ran into some tech priests who were accusing Pascal of being a criminal. And, with some amazing diplomatic skills on my part, we killed the person who was accusing him and convinced the others that, no, he's not a criminal. No, of course not. We, quoted some scripture, and that's all it took, Read the...
Apologies. 19% of my processing power is engaged in the analysis of my tech comrade's memory. My response time may be longer than usual.
Pascal raises his eyes from a data slate connected to an augmetic. The augmetic used to be housed inside the skull of Tarzus, the tech priest who perished on your ship. Have you found anything yet? Are you not surprised that Amarnat's words had such an effect on Opticon 22? Perhaps you will find out more. Have you found anything yet?
The data is scarce. His identification code is the same as mine, and his memory contains data confirming that the assassination did take place. Unfortunately, some of his memory was damaged by pulses broadcast by his battle harness. I can assert with some confidence that he was who he claimed to be, and that he served the Deus Mechanicus earnestly and eagerly.
Wonder if Pascal, maybe he's had his identity changed without him knowing it, right? Some sort of brainwashing or something. He gave off the impression of a paranoid madman.
Notwithstanding his permanent state of agony, he was not cognitively dysfunctional. His desire to immediately destroy the object he had deemed profane was partly dictated by his engrammatic augmentics, which were receiving imperatives from his battle harness. In light of the oddness of our matching identification codes, I find merit in his hypothesis as to the existence of a clandestine malevolent agent or conspiracy operating inside our fraternity.
Who do you think was behind the assassination?
No data available. I will hypothesize that the assassination was instigated by an enemy of the Blessed Amanat's doctrine. I accept the possibility that the assassins were targeting me, only to be led astray by Tarzus and my own identical identifiers.
Are identical identifiers common?
I am concerned about the fate of Archmagus Amanat. According to Opticon 22, he went missing in the wake of the incident on an Arch Mechanicus, the Hermetico. Information about that ship and its perishing has been purged from the archives. I accept the possibility that the incident on the ship, the concealed data, and the assassination have all been part of a single conspiracy.
Are you not surprised that Amarnat's words had such an effect on Opticon 22? I guess it's 22, not 22.
I was not knowledgeable as to how popular Blessed Amanat's teaching was in explorator circles. The Cognizance fleet is massive. His ideas might have found a larger following on its periphery than in the Mother Squadron.
Amarnat was a believer, and he caused a schism. Tarzus was a believer, and he turned into a zealot. Faith can be dangerous.
Of course, faith is dangerous. Faith is the prerogative of the spirit, and a spiritless mind is an enemy of all existence. Without faith, there is no meaning in anything, no point to any aspirations or limitations. But faith can take different forms.
Pascal looks at you askance, and the voice from his Vox synthesizer takes on an otherworldly profundity.
The form of prohibitions established by unknown elders. The form of an audacious violation of those prohibitions. The form of of following dogma or of schism. The form of following the cycle or of discontinuing the cycle. In a system with two courses of action, schism is inevitable, and only one of these paths will be true, as truth is discreetly separate from untruth.
Pascal's visor seems to almost pierce you with its glow. Did Armanot believe the elders to be in error? Only a fool would find no flaw in the creed, but true faith lies in not looking for flaws. My faith is more than a mere set of rules. It consists of ideals, which sometimes come into conflict with dogma, and I have been given the gift of will to set the dogma straight. I prefer to believe in myself and my own abilities to decide independently what is right. Faith is just the shackles of obedience. It is good for controlling my subordinates, but not good enough to control me. I'm not ready for a religious debate. Did he believe the elders to be in error?
Ammonites did not reject any one specific prohibition, but found their cumulative effect to be oppressive. The system of rigid limitations had confined seekers of knowledge to a circular track, spelling doom for the thinking mind. And that cycle of repetition had to be broken. That was why he was dubbed the Messiah of Discontinuing.
I think we're going to go number 3 here. My faith is more than a mere set of rules.
The Omnissiah has bestowed upon us the supreme mission, the quest for knowledge. The fact of its existence confirms that reason is yet to comprehend and quantify the universe in its entirety. This precludes the existence of any prohibition that could be considered universally relevant. All limitations need their exceptions, yet exceptions belie the inviolability of prohibitions.
Pascal's voice takes on a thoughtful tone, and its otherworldly might peters out. Perhaps you will be able to find out more.
I will continue my research into the Blessed Martyr's memory with all due reverence. May your labors be effective and fruitful.
Thank you. Alright. I just noticed there's a big wrinkle in my rug here. Servants! Fix that. Can't believe that. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. And there's more of it. Alright. Oh, we're going too far. This is where we need to go. To the Expanse. And we're just about ready to land on the planet itself. So I'm excited. You can get some big quest action. Alright. Dargonus. Begin scan. Alright, we got Von Valancius Palace and an Administratum. We're gonna go ahead and go to our palace first. Worship of the God Emperor is the central pillar of the Imperium of Man. Each day, trillions of people across 1 million worlds live, toil, and die in his name. Quite the religion. Long live the rogue trader! Glory to the great rogue trader! Uh-oh. I don't like people whispering in my crowds. It's a long walk. Can we get like a, I don't know, a car? Hello. You guys look important. Clementia Viserion? Is this his daughter? Wife? The Emperor protects. Welcome home, your ladyship. The stately woman in a long full dress uniform makes a graceful curtsy. Her short, graying hair does not obscure her stern features. I am Clementia Viserion, Court Chancellor of the Von Valancius dynasty. On behalf of all of Dargonus, please accept my deepest condolences on the untimely passing of Theodore von Valancius. Her departure is a terrible blow to us all, but as one star expires, another always flares to life. And although still overcome with bitterness and sadness, your subjects hope that you will become the Trade dynasty's guiding light in these trying times. I like how they're all in uniform. That's cool. Clementia. Abelard offers a reserved nod. She nods in return, and the lines on his brow soften, ever so slightly. The young man quickly brings a respirator to his burnt face and bows his head courteously. His raven black hair veils his burn and skull implants, and his thin metal fingers creak quietly as he offers a welcoming gesture. Achilles Scalander, Secretary at the Administrative Department. I hope your journey to Dargonus was not darkened by unwanted troubles. It was uneventful, thank you. The Emperor protected us on our journey through the stars. It was terrible. I did not realize my domain security was so illusory. We had some incidents, but those are irrelevant at this moment. The Emperor protected us on our journey through the stars. Achilles makes the sign of the Aquila, and may he remain merciful to us till the end of time. I like his model. It looks cool. Does your ladyship wish to survey the grounds, or perhaps we could sate your curiosity by answering any questions you might have? Governor Urban Drivestem has been notified of your arrival on Dargonus, and will visit the palace shortly. The preparations for the official visit are well in hand, but your ladyship still has plenty of time before the meeting. Hold on a moment, Clementia. What did you say your last name was? Why isn't the governor here with you to greet me? I would like to rest before the meeting. Where are my chambers? Your last name? Clementia nods politely. You heard correctly, your ladyship. I am of House Viserion, Lord Abelard's granddaughter and direct descendant. Okay, I guessed wife and daughter, and then when they had gray hair, I thought, oh, it's his wife. But no, granddaughter. Abelard's a lot older than I thought. The succession of service is an effective good. It grants new generations understanding of their function within the mechanism. Chancellor Viserion has held her position at the Von Valancius court for many years. She earned Lord Captain Theodore's respect through acts of great perseverance. There's no room for doubt. Blood had nothing to do with it. The Emperor blesses those who strengthen humanity's domain through their deeds. You have reason to be proud of your progeny. Easy, Abelard. I was simply asking. Time will tell, Seneschal. All that concerns me is the prosperity of my protectorate. Easy, Abelard. I was simply asking. Abelard huffs with feigned indifference. Why isn't the governor already here? Apologies, your ladyship. Governor Drivestem's residence is on the other side of the world, by the administrative palace of Dargonus. We sent word as soon as you entered the system, but it takes time to travel the great distances of your domain. Really, it takes him longer to travel to the other side of the world than it does me travel across the system? I don't know. Chancellor Viserion appears unruffled, but you cannot shake the thought that the governor's lateness is a subtle political gesture designed to test the limits of what is acceptable when it comes to interacting with the new rogue trader. I would like to rest before the meeting. They are very close, just down the hall. That is also where the study and the audience chamber are. Oh, I was wrong voice. Achilles' face brightens with a pearly white smile, restoring some of his former good looks. Lady Theodore's study has remained locked since her last departure, but on account of your arrival, we've arranged for it to be tidied up. It is ready whenever you may need it. You are dismissed. I apologize for my bluntness, but I have a request to make. Perhaps before the meeting takes place, the illustrious Lord Captain could spare a few minutes for a conversation with me. Achilles bows his head. I am certain that you will find my report on the state of affairs in the Von Valancius Protectorate most useful. Alright. We have a palace now. Spiders in a jar. Talk to Achilles. Alright. The capital world of Dargonus is home to the high aristocracy of the Von Valancius Protectorate. The power of any of the noble families exceeds that of the colonial governor, and securing the complete loyalty of the nobility is an important step to legitimizing the authority of the new rogue trader. Achilles Scalander has requested a private audience. It seems his report will contain information that must be kept confidential. Achilles will be waiting in the throne room of the Von Valancius Palace. So that's chapter 2 still. Perhaps the data on the rogue trader's personal cogitator could explain the strange entities in the Lord Captain's logs. Right. Okay. Some of these things we need to do. Need to keep up with all this stuff. Oh. Prelate Tychon of the Order of the Hammer wishes to send messengers to worlds that serve as the resting place of St. Cognatius's relic to form spiritual bonds with the current keepers. 5,000 RP for everybody? Hell yeah. Very nice. Race to the top. You need adamantine for that. The hive world of Phalanx seeks to undermine the influence of the subsector's capital planet. The governor's agents seek rare and valuable minerals that will help Phalanx's industry to grow and prosper. Unquenchable greed. Yeah, I think we've read that before, haven't we? The rogue trader has been contacted by a high-ranking administrative official who previously helped with reclaiming a relic of St. Cognatius from House Corda. He enjoyed the generous bribes that would like some more. In exchange for the riches requested, he promises that an error will creep into the administratum's calculation, so that all provisions from the agri-world of Mercus Alpha will be shipped to Dargonus instead of the Navy's orbital fortress of Dargonus 2, or Dragonus 2. Blood and Nephium. This is the one. I'm pretty sure we read this one. Caligos Winterscale has found out that the secret of gas. Yeah, we've read that one. And then, do I need to keep up with these rumors better? Probably. We'll read those later, though. We've got so much. Okay. Right. Kiavagama and Dargonus. We need to go back to Footfall for that. We just read this one. Kiavagama. Earlier is convinced that some of her kin can be found in the system known to humans as the Forgotten Twins. Where we found that one already. Okay, so we need to head to those systems for her too. Right, and this is the seal we got for Jay. Right, we gotta get a rank 3 project going for that. Cash on Dargonus and Kiavagama. Gotcha, okay. Okay, so this is like another camp for us almost. Alright, let's walk around. An ancient cogitator linked to the palace's system networks. We're going to start from the very beginning, way up here. Just take a look around. My palace. Man, this is a long walk. Return to the ship there. What a blessing to see you, your ladyship. Yeah, I know. The plaque lists the names of each rogue trader to have led the Von Valancius dynasty dating back to the day the capital world was founded. That's really cool. There's Argenta. Ooh. What is this? Standing upon the altar is an ancient image of Saint Macarius. Its regal frame is covered in marks. The relic was claimed in a battle on a remote and forgotten world. Glory to the Emperor. Okay, so they don't actually have conversations. That's fine. Alright, so up here we've got Jay and Earliette, and also goods. Yeah, I see those goods. They're mine. Why is this locked? This is my stuff. Ooh, head of Kiyamagama's delegation. May the Omnissiah bless the Von Valancius dynasty. Indeed. I thought Earliette was here. Oh, no, Jay's here. Toss a coin here.
How fascinating.
Glinting in the light, the coin falls into the clear water and sinks to the bottom. Nice. Such illustrious society. Such well-heeled nobles indeed. It would be worth visiting Dargonus even without getting to know you, Shireen. This world offers huge scope for doing business. Yeah. Just don't do anything that's gonna get you in trouble. More trophies. Head of Yanis's delegation. The Yanis delegation salutes you, your ladyship. Alright. The walls of your home suffocate me, Elentak. I long to leave this twisted world at the first opportunity. You just got here. Look, we even have trees. Like a little worse for wears, those trees, but you know. Von Valancius Palace. Perception reduces the chance of an enemy dodging an attack. It also affects the awareness skill. Yeah. Good tip. Alright. I have a servant there. Hello, servant. Welcome, your ladyship. Let me inform you of the location of the chambers on your dynastic estate. Okay. The main throne room is up the stairs and straight ahead. Your subject, Achilles Scalander, informed me that he humbly awaits the opportunity to meet with you there. If your ladyship wishes to rest after your long journey, then your personal chambers are up the stairs and on the right. If you need anything, whatever your soul desires, I'll be right next to your chambers, eagerly awaiting your orders. Good. Augurator Tech Priest. Car. Oh, we got some goods. I see goods. My goods. Bang. Alright, so we go up and straight ahead is... what's his face? And my chamber's over here? Yeah. Okay. Let's go talk to Achilles first. After we, see what these guys had to say. While we're on Dargonus, I will check the Secretary's reports and keep an eye on the logisticians. Master Danrock does his job well, but a little scrutiny goes a long way with him. Alright, we got some goods over here. Oh, is this my throne? Doesn't look like a throne, does it? Cassia. My compliments to your taste in art. The collection here is extensive and most interesting. Thanks, but you do know that this is all Theodora's stuff. I've not been here to put my own spin on things. There's Clementia. Your ladyship. Clementia bows her head politely. For a chancellor to a rogue trader, she is dressed rather simply. A parade doublet, polished boots, and a comfortable cloak. She bears a saber and a gilded scabbard. Whether for show or protection, one could not say. Only her ring with the Viserion coat of arms indicates that she is of the highest social stratum. The governor is waiting on the periphery of the palace. Please let me know when you would like to see him. The sharp gaze, the impeccably straight back, the composure. For a moment, you feel like you're looking at a younger version of Abelard himself, not just his heir. Judging by the scars on the exposed parts of her body, Clementia saw her fair share of combat prior to assuming the position of Chancellor. What are your responsibilities as Chancellor? To put it simply, I am your trade representative. Any and all decrees, deals, official communication, and meetings are first reviewed by me and then forwarded to you, and from you down the hierarchy. My purview also includes overseeing your ladyship's property, the palace, the estates, the many gardens, the other domains on Dargonus that you have inherited from Lady Theodora. And whenever you are present on Dargonus, consider me your personal secretary. What can you tell me about Dargonus? All deals and important decisions are made here in the capital. Many years ago, an ancestor of Lady Theodora signed an agreement with the Adeptus Administratum, which allowed for efficient management of the world and the neighboring systems. In accordance with the decree, a share of the planet's population was assigned to the Administratum and converted into servitor scribes. They now toil across the entire world. Dargonus is also the seat of several noble families who run all the major planets in the Protectorate. If I may express my not-so-humble opinion, they care very little about who exactly stands at the helm. Those pariahs think about their own profits just as much as they do about the prosperity of the Protectorate itself, if not more. And lastly, Dargonus has its own fleet, a luxury unavailable to the vast majority of other worlds in your realm. In addition to warships, the Protectorate also employs privateer ships, which are used to transport cargo between worlds. Does the capital stay in contact with the other worlds in the Protectorate? Unfortunately, not at this time, your ladyship. After the few representatives of the Adeptus Astra Telepathica on Dargonus went into a frenzy, some of the Psychers were tragically pacified by the respective authorities. Since then, communication with the neighboring systems has been unreliable at best. Thanks be to the Master of Mankind that you managed to find your way to the capital. If the noble houses are so volatile, what sense is there in keeping them? Over the many centuries, an intricate hierarchy has formed within the ruling elite of Dargonus. The great houses do more than plunder your treasury. It is replenished, to a large degree, thanks to the administrative work and their lands. Naturally, you can get rid of anyone whom you consider surplus to requirements, but right now, it could threaten the fragile stability that is currently holding the Protectorate together. Are there any other issues I should be aware of? Apart from the disrupted communications, Dargonus was recently raided by enemies of humanity. However, the fleet under the command of Captain Matthias Viserion, yeah, you guys are just everywhere, huh? Triumphed over this accursed Xenos. If you ask my opinion on this matter, we have the situation completely under control. You catch her avoiding your gaze for just a moment. For the first time, it's obvious that Clementia is looking out for her house's good name, but despite the confidence in her tone, you can tell that she does not entirely believe her own words. Tell me about the governor. Urban Drivestem is a well-respected man, and not just on Dargonus, but throughout the Protectorate. For many centuries, his house has supported the capital's administration and logistics between the Von Valencia system. The Drivestem's efforts secured years of order and prosperity for Dargonus. What's more, Lady Theodora personally insisted that Lord Urban specifically be made the next governor. The way you speak of Drivestem, I hear a hint of either contempt or resentment. No. No, I don't believe I feel either, your ladyship. Clementia's steely eyes stare into the distance, her jaw clenching visibly. She speaks in a polite but clipped manner, clearly frustrated by your insight, or flustered by it. We have different views on how to run a world. We sometimes have discussions over the laws that are enacted, but we both work for the good of the Von Valanci's protectorate. That much can be said without a doubt. Thank you. I serve the Von Valanci's protectorate, your ladyship. Achilles Scalander. Does he cause any problems? Why, none at all, your ladyship. Secretary Scalander is an outstanding individual and a loyal servant of the Von Valanci's dynasty. In Lady Theodora's absence, we collaborated on a number of issues related to the well-being of your domain. And he has proven himself quite capable. And I don't know why, but even the governor trembles before Achilles, which is unusual for a man of his, shall we say, standing. The last word brings a slight smile to her lips. The governor can wait a little longer. I still have matters to take care of. Certainly, your ladyship. However, her thin lips twist slightly. I do not concern myself with the governor's feelings, but I must warn you. Your actions or inaction may be interpreted in a certain way. Now, if your ladyship will excuse me. Yeah, well, to be fair, you wouldn't let me visit him right away, so it's your fault. My appearance has caused a slight disturbance in the ranks of the servants of the Omnissiah assigned to the palace. Analysis of the performance of rituals and maintenance litanies has produced a satisfactory result. Lovely. Ah, here we are. Alright. The lack of observers on this world has led your nobles to become... Say that again. Extremely complacent. Today alone, I overheard 3 statements that, if I so wanted, could be turned into the grounds for a charge of heresy. The slender figure, clad in robes made from expensive fabric, shudders from violent coughing. Pressing a gilded respirator to his face, the man takes several deep breaths. Achilles, it has been many moons. I hope your cousin is feeling well. Achilles covers his burnt lips, trying and failing to suppress a coughing fit. She is in good health. She sends her regards to you, as well as her wishes for your swift return. Heinrich frowns. For as long as the stars shine in the sky, my vigil continues. So it does. Achilles thumps himself on the chest with his augmented hand. You hear the clanging of metal against metal. I'm not so foolish as to fail to notice a conversation in code. Is there a reason for this ill-mannered behavior, Heinrichs? Perhaps you two could find another time to discuss personal matters. Do you two mind? Say nothing. We'll use our logic. Your insight deserves credit, rogue trader. Then again, I expected nothing less from Theodora von Valancius, his successor. Heinrichs looks at Achilles. Allow me to introduce Achilles Scalander. Properly. In addition to his duties as Secretary of the Administratum, he acts as an agent of the Golden Throne under my aegis. Master Scalander was transferred into my remit by a colleague who is engaged in other matters in the Coronis Expanse. I'm sure you will find Achilles' service useful, especially when dealing with the schemes of humanity's foes within the borders of your protectorate. Greetings, Lady Imogen von Valancius. Allow me once again to express my deepest condolences on the loss of Lady Theodora. I will do everything I can to track down and destroy all of Conrad Voigtvir's accomplices on the capital world. Do you know anything about what has become of Conrad Voigtvir? The former Master Whispers is a heretic and a traitor to the dynasty. You promised me a report on the present state of affairs in the Protectorate. What are your responsibilities here in Dargonus? The scars on your face, what happened? I must take my leave. Have you heard anything about him? Achilles nods grimly. Word of his treason reached Dargonus too late. Conrad came to the planet and left it almost immediately. Once he had sown discord in the minds of the gullible and naive. The worst of the rumors he started was that you were the one responsible for Lady Theodora's sudden demise. Of course, your loyal subjects did their best to skin alive any who showed signs of doubt. But it seems unlikely that the wardens got to everyone who was allowed doubt into their heart. and now nurtures it in secret. What are your responsibilities here? Officially, I'm a secretary at the world's administrative department. Less officially, I'm afraid I can't disclose that even to you. In short, I collect and investigate reports of heresy taking root on upstanding planets of humanity. Above all else, I am concerned about the Xenos threat that hangs over the entire Dargonus expanse, including your protectorate. Sadly, my mission was complicated by the recent warp disturbances. I am still trying to re-establish contact with many of my agents. Tell me about the Xenos. The residents of the local systems are no strangers to skirmishes with the enemies of humanity, but recently the loathsome beasts seem to have completely flown off the handle. We're receiving reports from ships that made it through the warp to Dargonus. Both they and the colonies that they departed from are being attacked. We have identified the breed of Xenos that pose this threat, the Drukhari, humanity's ancient and insidious foes. Be vigilant on your travels. The Xenos will undoubtedly attack a rogue trader ship should they find the circumstances to be in their favor. Unfortunately, in the host of humanity there are those who are willing to grovel before our enemies in hopes of a valuable reward. You may be interested to know that we are on the trail of such heretics. Achilles glances at a data slate. Overwhelming evidence indicates that a marauded void station in Langren's belt is being used as a base by a band of pirates who are not above dealing with Xenos. I was unable to persuade the Chancellor the need to dispatch a ship there, but perhaps you would like to pay a courtesy call to these scoundrels yourself? I've already been there, I think. Do you know anything about the cult of the Final Dawn? My knowledge is deplorably limited, your ladyship. All my attention has been focused on tracking Xenos activity. I'm certain that Master Von Calyx can tell you more about those heretics than I. About your unofficial work. Achilles' amber eyes flash with interest. Yes. Whom do you truly serve, the rogue trader or the interrogator of the Inquisition? Achilles quickly glances at Heinrichs. And whom does the rogue trader serve? The Golden Throne? The Protectorate? Could it be that one stems from the other? And if so, is there any sense in discussing it? I want a list of all your agents and the means to contact them. I can understand your desire as a rogue trader to have everything under your control, and yet I am not at liberty to make use of classified information related to the interrogator's agents in whatever way I see fit. Achilles lowers his gaze and nods politely. Heinrich lets out a sigh of disappointment. There is no point in pressing my agents. None of them would ever reveal such vital information, especially not in my presence. Dargonus has no need for spies from the Inquisition. Be gone. I've learned all I wanted to. Other questions? The scars on your face, what happened? He coughs. 5 years ago, there was an accident. Several tanks of promethium exploded in the storehouse of my estate, and I was buried alive under the rubble. The Emperor preserved my soul, and the skilled physicians of Dargonus saved my body, except for my lungs, with which I had to part. I presume the incident was an attempt on my life, but the identity of whoever was behind it remains a mystery. You promised me a report. I have already forwarded all official reports to your seneschal. As for the conversation we're having right now, I wouldn't trust any paper or data slate with its contents. You see, Lady Theodora, may the Emperor have mercy on her soul, was perfectly aware of Dargonus' political environment. You, however, have only just arrived on the capital world, and I thought it would be best to bring you up to speed. Frankly, the nobles of Dargonus, much like the nobles of most world, are akin to spiders in a jar, ready to pounce on whoever is the weakest, or whomever they deem to be the weakest. The nobles of Dargonus are well respected, rich and powerful individuals who held Lady Theodora's favor for many years, and found ways to rise above the rest by diligently serving the rogue trader. Every family pursues its own selfish interests, and each one expects that with the transition of power, they will retain and even add to their lands and wealth. The families I would recommend giving particular attention to are the Drivestems, the Gapreks, and the Sauerbachs. I should also mention the Viserians. Not a noble house per se, but a family that was part of Lady Theodora's inner circle, to the Blue Blood's great displeasure. Tell me about the Drivestems. The Drivestems are the ancient governor house of Dargonus. Predictably, the greater the wealth of the von Valancius protectorate, the fuller their coffers grow. Their reputation is flawless except for one detail. We have evidence that urban Drivestem's rivals seem to have the misfortune of regularly falling victims to Xenos raids. I find that these attacks are always a little too advantageous for the Drivestems, but we lack solid proof, and it might never surface. The closer an official is to a rogue trader, the braver, the safer they feel. I would just like to remind everyone that rubbing shoulders with Xenos is a heresy that can be overlooked only in the case of the von Valancius heir, not her servants. That's good to know. Thank you for that, Heinrichs. What makes the Gapraks special? The Gapraks hail from a remote forge world, and among their distant relatives there are many servants of the Omnissiah. The house itself is close to the cult of the Adeptus Mechanicus, both in spirit and in their business connections. The Gapraks oversaw the industrial shipments within your protectorate, until recently. Ever since the astropathic communication with Kiavagamo was severed, they've been quite concerned about the security of the planet placed in their care. Can you tell me about House Sauerback? Religious and hardworking, the Sauerbacks own many enterprises, including distillation manufacturers that produce promethium. I must note that lately members of the Sauerback family have been prone to overly liberal statements about the von Valancius dynasty. They believe that Lady Theodora is a bit too keen to leave her worlds without proper oversight. And the Viserians? The Viserians are a line founded by Lady Theodora Seneschal, and as such are nominally considered nobility, at least from the standpoint of the Imperial Navy, from which Lord Abelard hails. On Dargonus, however, their position is precarious. Firstly, they never were granted an official title, a process which has been impeded for decades by the old houses of Dargonus, and secondly, the other families do not see themselves as equal, but more as upstarts clinging to the rogue trader's favor. The Viserians are responsible for the capital world's fleet and the majority of the cargo shipments on domestic routes. After hearing all that, I now feel the urge to have every one of those sycophants executed at once. Nah, enough about the nobles. Was there anything else you wanted to report? There was, your ladyship. And this time, it concerns the main reason for my presence on this planet. Xenos and the threat they pose both to you and to humanity as a whole. The last few months have been difficult for the people who report to me. My eyes and ears scattered throughout the Coronus expanse. Warp disturbances, astropaths overcome with madness, ships disappearing in the immaterium. Many of my observers and contacts still have gone dark and have been killed by some calamity or other. Still, I managed to establish communication with some key individuals who were able to warn me about incoming threats, including Xenos raids. Achilles looks you in the eye without blinking. It is within my power to supply you with intelligence on where and when the Xenos will next strike. I do not doubt that Governor Drivestem will beg you for protection against the Xenos, and in this fight, the information from my contacts will serve you well. I beseech you, Imogen. If I ever report a threat looming over a ship or a planet, do not dismiss it. Sometimes it takes an intervention from the rogue trader and our mighty void ship to avert a disaster. I must take my leave. Achilles bows. According to the message I received a few minutes ago, Governor Drivestem has arrived at court. I imagine that the Chancellor is already prepared to arrange the meeting. All that's left is to notify her that you are ready to see Urban. Tell Chancellor Viserion that you are ready to receive the Governor at Dargonus. Sure. Let's do it. She's over here. Is this like where they stand to address me? That just shout across this distance? Your ladyship, Governor Drivestem is waiting in the audience hall. I advise you to respond to his lateness in kind. That way you can let Urban know that his behavior has not gone unremarked. But I will not delay too long. Right now, the court is closely observing your every step. Tell them that I'm ready to see the governor. Clementia bows before leaving. I shall arrange for him to be escorted to your study. Oh, we're going to the study. Ah, we're here already. Oh, he looks cool. Imogen von Valancius, 20th in her line, rogue trader, keeper of the sacred warrant, and ruler of the Dargonus expanse, from the Cranach system to the 100 Dreams crossroads. I bid you welcome. Urban Drivestem, governor of this great world. First and foremost, please accept my deepest condolences. It will be difficult to recover from the loss of a woman as great as Theodora von Valancius. It pains me to think she is no longer with us. The citizens of Dargonus and of the entire Protectorate grieve alongside you. Please allow us to declare half a year of mourning so that we can honor the memory of our beloved lady. Theodora deserves more than that. You will declare a full year of mourning. There's no need. I am the new ruler of the Protectorate. Let my subjects rejoice at my arrival instead. It's all the same to me. Do as you see fit. There's no need. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, give me about like 5 years as rogue trader, and nobody will ever remember Theodora. I don't know why I hate her so much, but like, everybody's just, you know, they love her too much, or they try to say they love her too much. There's no need. The bewilderment causes the wrinkles on Drivestem's glossy face to soften. Your ladyship, these are centuries-old traditions, sacred customs and rules. Do not forget who it is you serve, Urban Drivestem. If it is the rogue trader's wish not to have a mourning ceremony, Abelard's voice grates unpleasantly, then so be it. Perhaps the parvenu installed by Lady Theodora cares not for the sacred traditions of our founding ancestors. The governor gives a meaningful nod in Abelard's direction. But Imogen von Valancius is the descendant of the true children of Dargonus. It behooves the ruler of a world to honor its customs. Come now, Urban. I'm as much of a parvenu as Abelard. I do honor tradition, Governor. Later, when things in the Protectorate settle down, we will declare a mourning period. I should not be one to judge what behooves. I shall be the one who... Yeah, I'm a bumbling idiot. That's who you have as your rogue trader. I shall be the one to judge what behooves me and what does not. Say nothing. I shall be the one to judge. I'm not going to say it again because I'm going to mess up. Yeah, you know what? I'm putting my foot down on this. I guess, you know, for them it hasn't been that long. For me, we've been playing this game for almost 2 months now. It's been 2 months of non-stop. Oh, Theodora's gone. Boo-hoo-hoo. God damn it. Wonder what saying nothing will do. You know what? We're going to say number 3. As you will, your ladyship. Drivestem bows his head. Esteemed Imogen, Lady Theodora was a strong leader, and we ought to follow her example. Let us lean on our wisdom and preserve in spite of this tragedy, together. And let us carry on where she no longer can by leading the von Valancius Protectorate to even greater prosperity. I like that. Drivestem gives you a look of admiration. It seems that he is quite aware of your fame, and this opportunity to curry favor with such an eminent figure is one he does not wish to miss. Alas, it won't be an easy task to accomplish. Some time ago, the astropaths of Dargonus flew into a rage, and they had to be subdued. We're gradually restoring our ability to speak with neighboring worlds, but the contacts are still weak, and the routes are tangled with no longer lead to the systems that the captains expect them to. Given that the vast majority of ships in the Dargonus Navy travel without relying on the services of navigators, without our engagement, the well-being of the von Valancius dynasty and billions of its subjects is presently at risk. We met a ship from Dargonus not too long ago. The crew was transporting a strange artifact and went mad during the flight. Conrad Voigtvier, former Master Whispers, is a heretic and a traitor. Has he shown his face on Dargonus? What exactly do the Dargonus nobility expect from me in light of the loss of routes and communication with other worlds? I would like to complete my inauguration as rogue trader as soon as possible. When is the ceremony? Tell me about yourself. And House Drivestem. Tell me about yourself. It would be my pleasure to enlighten you. My house is the oldest and most respected on Dargonus. My ancestors walked side by side with yours for many generations, as they cared for this world's welfare. Our duty is to supervise the governing bodies within the system subservient to you, and we are responsible for the Protectorate's logistics and economic stability. As for me personally, I am a humble servant of the Emperor and a loyal subject to the rogue trader. And, to my great pleasure, I had the honor of calling myself Lady Theodora's close friend. At Urban's last words, Abelard lets out a sound that could be interpreted as either a snort or a cough. Urban gives him a look, which Abelard meets with an expression of utter nonchalance. Okay. Conrad Voigtvier is a traitor. The governor pensively strokes the rings glittering on his fingers. Lord Voigtvier visited the capital some time ago, but he did not request a personal meeting. A heretic, you say? Now I see where all the whispering in the corridors has come from. I shall be frank with you, your ladyship. Lady Theodora's sudden death was a blow to every one of us, and the absence of any sort of verifiable and complete information about her successor gives grounds for all manners of rumors and misinterpretations, especially if someone is deliberately inciting unrest and discontent. Naturally, none would dare challenge you by accusing you of something as sacrilegious as murdering a rogue traitor. However, Conrad Voigtvier was once a true boon to the Protectorate back in the day, and as such some might heed his words. Subject all who have dared to make heretical remarks about the rogue traitor to servitude in perpetuis. Machines aren't prone to dissidence. There we go. I got it out. My subjects' doubts are understandable. Too many things have changed in too short a span. I prove myself worthy of my position. Publicly rip out the vocal cords and tongues of every slanderer and replace it with vox implants that sing the praise of rogue trader Imogen von Valancius without interruption. I would think that will serve as a reminder of who rules this world. Damn. Holy shit, that's quite the decision. I couldn't care less about what people think of me. I am Theodora's successor, whether they like it or not. It's understandable. Why, Imogen, your desire is most commendable, but please do not forget, a ruler would never bow to their attendants. Or some might see it as a show of weakness. Well, I'm not bowing to them. I'm just telling you. We met a ship from Dargonus not too long ago. The crew went insane. This is a truly regrettable bit of news. What's more, leaving Dargonus has been forbidden for several cycles now. It seems the Viserion family has once again failed in their primary responsibilities. He shoots Abelard a condescending look. We will investigate this at once, as well as the fact that the ship had to acquire a permit with the administrative seal. Does your nephew still serve as the administrative palace? The governor presses a number of buttons on the cogitator built into his bracer and looks up at you in surprise. I don't understand. The ship did indeed depart from orbit, but it did so, if you can believe it, on the rogue trader's authorization. That is why no one dared to impede its departure. Lord Captain, it would seem that Conrad somehow got his hands on a copy of your authorization, or perhaps even the original. A tool like that in the hands of a traitor does not bode well. Can we change the codes? What exactly do the Dargonus nobility expect from me? We are all troubled by the fate of the agri-world Janus that supplied Dargonus and the other planets with foodstuffs. Empty stomachs can drive even the mildest rabble to revolt. Furthermore, House Gaprak is perturbed by the loss of communication with the industrial world Kiabagama. which is in their charge. But if you wish to know my opinion, the world that deserves your attention the most is the penal world Phoebos the Sixth, one of the key mining suppliers in your protectorate. That's the first time we've heard of that one, I think. Such an intriguing concern for Phoebus 6 outpost. Doesn't your house happen to own the extraction stations there? I've already visited Agriworld, Yanis. Governor Viat found herself facing a number of problems in my absence. That does it for the planets and the trade routes. What else? Yeah, don't you own that planet? Drivestem's beady eyes widen in fear. Your ladyship, I beg of you, do not interpret my words as an attempt to influence your decisions in any way. You see, without Vebos 6, the manufacturers on your worlds would need to make haste to find new suppliers elsewhere and arrange for new shipments. And in these troubling times, they run the risk of delays and other most tragic mishaps. My only concern is for the prosperity of the von Valancius dynasty. I've already been to Yanis. Truly, the Viat line is one of the oldest in the von Valancius protectorate. If the inheritor of such well-respected blood could not handle whatever had befallen her, then the situation must have been extraordinary indeed. Accursed Xenos took Vistenza's life, but her death was avenged. Vistenza succumbed to worshipping the ruinous powers and was executed. Vistenza Viat is no longer in charge of the world. She's dead. I've delivered Yanis into more capable hands. We're telling the truth. Yeah, he needs to know that don't mess with me. I will execute you. Drivestem pales in terror. It is clear from the unseemly grimace on his aristocratic countenance that his fear is not feigned. Ruinous powers. Truly horrifying news. I commend your resolve and unwavering severity. Death to the enemies of humanity. That does it for the planets and the trade routes. What else? Xenos, your ladyship. I don't really know where to begin. He rubs the bridge of his nose warily. Otherworldly beasts are not an uncommon sight in the Coronis expanse. They have been a menace to the worlds this side of the Maw for decades. But now those abominations are on the rampage. They show no signs of fear as they attack ships, either damaging them to the point where they become unfit for transport duty, or outright gutting them. Only you have the power to stop this madness. We are in the process of restoring the astropathic choir of Dargonus. Luckily, we were forced to slay only some of the deranged psychers, although those that remain are as yet unable to transmit messages. I hope Master Scalander will keep his word and offer you his support in the war against the Xenos. According to his reports, the region of Vebos 6 has been a particular concern in the last few cycles, which is all the more reason to discover the colony's fate as soon as possible. Now, to issues on a smaller scale. There is a certain degree of tension in the capital due to the unorthodox succession to the Sacred Warrant. Chances of uprisings are minimal, of course, and the spreading of rumors is nothing but a sign of weakness of mind and spirit. Nonetheless, I have prepared a list of minor houses that have demonstrated unseemly discomposure at your succession. What is to be done with them? Eliminate the most prominent malcontents quietly, but do not threaten entire families. Hopefully these steps will be enough to keep the rest from causing more trouble. I care not what those hyenas are yapping about behind my back. Leave them be. They are no threat to me. Make arrangements for public purges. All who have sullied the rogue trader's name must meet their death on the executioner's block. Jeez. Send the disgruntled nobles lavish gifts on my behalf, and make sure that my generosity does not go unnoticed by the rest. Yeah, everybody likes gifts. An elegant solution, your ladyship. Other families will assume that your relationships with the Defiant houses are more complicated than one might think, and the agitators will receive the message that they are being watched. And one last thing, your ladyship. Your inauguration as bearer of the Sacred Warrant is but a matter of time. and I would like to inquire about one crucial detail. I imagine you are intending to uphold the centuries-old tradition, bolstered by an equally long-standing friendship, of being represented on Dargonus by one of the noble families. I presume that, as before, this duty will be accorded to House Drivestem. One moment. Which house can represent me at the ceremony? Or which houses? There's no need to alter any traditions. The dynasty will be represented by House Drivestem. House Gaprak will represent the new House Trader. Sauerback will carry out this duty. I suppose I will bestow this honor upon the Viserians. I don't care. Who can represent me? Any of the noble houses located on Dargonus. The Drivestem family, which I lead. The Gaprak family, with long ties to the Adeptus Mechanicus. The Sauerbacks, known for their piety and diligence in service. Perhaps I should also mention the Viserians, who have some influence, but who are not actually of noble origin. Any of these houses would be honored to represent you at the ceremony. Sure. We've already broken tradition once, so let's not go crazy and break all traditions. Keep this tradition. There's no need to alter any traditions. The dynasty will be represented by House Drivestem. I never doubted your ladyship's decision. I can tell that the future holds a fruitful partnership for us, and prosperity for all Dargonus. I shall immediately relay all your orders to most gracious rogue trader. May the gold of the throne illuminate your path. What is the ceremony? I'm afraid that until you deal with pressing issues, the ceremony will have to be postponed. Many trade routes are still unavailable. The central worlds of the Von Valancia's protectorate are going through a crisis, and the warp disturbances. If the void observers are to be believed, will prevent important guests from reaching the capital. That will be all, I take it. Thank you for your time, your ladyship. Since duty calls, I shall take my leave. May the Emperor's grace be with you. All right. We have made it to the capital. This antique piece of furniture is obviously well cared for, but its surface is still covered with a lot of scuffs, scratches, and stains, traces of the previous rogue traders who sat at the table. Blades in the Void. The worlds of the Von Valancia's protectorate are being terrorized by enemies of humanity. Xenos carrying out rapid strikes on colonies and trading vessels. The rogue trader must prevent any further plundering of the dynasty's holdings and launch a counterattack. According to Achilles, the Xenos raids may have struck the penal world of Vibos 6. This report requires further investigation. Alright, we've already restored the operations of the administrative apparatus on Dargonus. Great. Yavagama. We can do this here, right? Yeah. Right. You can find a hidden cache here. Okay, so that's what we'll do in the next episode. This could be it for this one. We've, I'm just admiring my, my quarters here. We've done some good things here. We've, made it here, and, oh, these are my private quarters. Kind of rambling on here. We're going to go ahead and end the episode. Until the next one, hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you later.